Done with this?
Yep.
Hey babe,
Yeah?
what time you got?
I think it's like 7.
No! It can't be, it's not possible. No! Welcome to the Cheeky Analysis. Well, we're 2 weeks into the 2017 Gay Boop season, and already a lot of exciting things have been happening around the league. Basically everywhere in the league other than Josh's team, where exciting things go to die a horrible death. So Jordan Howard is a piece of shit. You may have seen his absolutely atrocious suicide thought producing performance this past Sunday, where he rushed 9 times for 7 yards. I can't even say it. Sorry. Anyway, ultimately leading to my first loss of the year by 3 points. You'd think even after playing fantasy for so long you'd get used to those few point losses, but it stings. It stings every time. Obviously, the blame for my loss points directly to Jordan Howard, but even with that, still being alive going into the Monday night game, I was counting on a particular quarterback to keep his game competitive. Problem is, the guy I was counting on was this dipshit. Durr. Thanks to Eli mentally challenged toddler-faced fuckboy Manning, Stafford, who is normally throwing the ball down to the literal last second of a game, basically stopped throwing the football at the beginning of the third quarter, which also led to my loss. But it's all good for now. Cheeky Bastards are 1-1 in third place and are second in points. Speaking of those points, I gotta give a shout out to my dude, Mishael Crabtree. Look at him, what a stud. Oh, did I mention he's got magnet hands? Back to Josh's team real quick. He has now scored under 100 in each of the first 2 weeks. Somehow managed to get a win out of one of those performances, but hey, it happens. Interesting fact, Josh is the first person in Gay Boobs to start the season with 2 performances under 100 points since Ryan in 2014. And you know when you're on a fantasy statistical list with Ryan, it's usually not a good list. Now Josh has suffered some injuries, primarily Danny Woodhead, who is out for like half the season because of his hamstring, which, who saw that coming? Oh, that's right, I did. In case you guys don't remember, I was saying that, you know, let's just pull it up real quick. It's Josh a few years ago. But this year, him being a 32-year-old back, coming off an ACL tear, and he's having some hamstring issues right now, you can have him, Shua. We finally got to see Chad. So yeah, mile away, Josh, mile away. Speaking of injuries, there's been actually quite a few this year already, only through 2 weeks. Let's do a quick roundup of who's been affected. In no particular order, we have Papa, who lost DJ. We have Ryan, who just lost Greg Olson, me, who has lost AFR for the year, and Jordan Howard is currently going through a shoulder issue, Josh, who has lost Danny Woodhead, and Jordy Nelson had a little scare this past week, JT had a scare with Odell, but he looked fine this week, Chad, DeMarco Murray having a little bit of issues, also nothing major, Logan, Randall Cobb, It's not really that big of a deal. Craig, who lost Rob Kelly, so nobody. Leaving Jeffrey and Pat the only two people that have not really been affected by injuries at all yet. So, Pat and Jeffrey, if you were thinking that you were having any bad luck this year, you can fuck right off. Well, it looks like Zeke's going to be playing most of, if not the entire season. I will admit, Logan, Sean McCoy, and Zeke Elliott as your two running backs is pretty fucking sexy, and I'm pretty jealous. Pisses me off that Logan's the one that lucks out on that. Apparently, the fantasy gods are more likely to help people this year with cum residue on or in their ass. Which also probably explains why Craig is in first place. Now, speaking of Craig, my baby cuz, I don't like to drop the term ally in fantasy. I think a everyone is your enemy mentality is important, and I do live by that. But Craig, as of right now, we cool. So don't get too mad about that cum residue comment. But you gotta admit, your ass is pretty cummy. Papa, who handed me my first loss, is still mourning his loss of David Johnson. Very, very, very unfortunate loss. But it happens. Impressively, even with losing David Johnson, Papa still is off to a 2-0 start. We'll see how long that undefeated streak lasts. It's not gonna be long. Jeffrey, my little bro, the Horny Rhinos, had a good weekend. Friday he turned 21, did some heavy drinking, and then he won in fantasy on Sunday. Two things that he very rarely does. 150 point week, bro, it's pretty good. We'll see how long you keep that up. What else we got going on through 2 weeks? Let's see, let me scroll all the way down here. All the way down. Oh, yeah. JT and Ryan, still winless. JT, I like your style, even when you look like absolute shit in the standings list. You make sure there's that one person that's still just shittier than you. Ryan's team actually had a pretty good week. Respect, but he didn't win. Ryan's actually got a pretty cool thing going on. I don't know if anyone else notices it. I think I know what you're up to, Ryan. See, if you take Ryan's Gay Boob Championship appearances, 0, and then you take Ryan's Gay Boob playoff appearances, 0, and then you take his current season wins, 0, it makes a cool little design. Just like, it's cool looking, you know? So you know, at least you have that. It's cool. It's a cool looking thing. You guys also might remember that I said in the other video that I believe I had the best wide receiver depth after the draft. Let me go ahead and take that one back. I mean, is my receiver depth bad? Yes. But I do have 3 very startable ones, so whatever, you know. I think I may have to give that wide receiver depth badge to Chad. His team is looking pretty good. Other than Murray, kind of disappointing. Looking good, Chad. I don't really have a reason to hate you or call you a fag yet. Seeing as, you know, I kicked your ass in week 1. That was fun. Well, that'll about sum it up for the first 2 weeks. Heading into week 3, Josh, I know it's going to be tough, maybe even impossible, but could you please take down Craig? We don't want any undefeated teams. We just don't need that. Craig even dropped bye-week Josh on you. Oof. Chad, it's your job to take down Papa. Now, Pat and Logan, I'm going to need you to win your matchups too, because it'll just be absolutely hilarious if JT and Ryan are both 0-3. This has been The Cheeky Bastard with weeks 1 and 2 analysis. And with that, I'll let my boy Mikhail Crabtree take it from here.
Everything is cool, man.